Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bruce, aka Haunted Husband, and welcome back to Becoming. In case you've missed the last couple episodes, I suggest you go catch up. That way you won't be out of the loop of what's going on. I'm just going to pick up right where we left off. Once again, I'm going to say I'm severely enjoying this game. Interested to see where it's headed as far as like character development and what the ending's going to be. Now, I'm curious if there's a wrong choice here between can I call you and how about a coffee? Because so far I've managed to pick every wrong choice to get to the ending. Did I save this last time? I did not. Glad I thought about that. Now, logically thinking about this, if she's homeless, I don't think you can call her because she would not have a phone. Assuming she's homeless. Which is a weird thing to say, but... So, I know Adam would probably be super aggressive. Confronting her, trying to make a move on her. So imagine Adam in this situation would be like, how about a coffee? Like, let's do something now. As opposed to like a gentleman and be like, hey, can I have your number? Can I get in touch with you? So I'm going to go with a more aggressive choice would be, how about a coffee? Adam nodded. I hear you. How about a cup of coffee with an old friend? What is wrong with you? He could not believe he had asked her to get a drink. Was another side effect? I don't drink coffee. Never have, never will, she said, looking all around her. Adam remembered that detail about her, and that recollection triggered another flash of his past when he, his best friend Aaron, and Aaron's brother, Ryan, would hang out at the local ice cream parlor. So his best friend who passed away, his name's Aaron. Ryan is his best friend's brother. We are Adam. Getting a name for everybody. So, I'd like to see a flash of Aaron. I'm curious what Aaron looked like. Thanks anyway. See ya. About something more sugary, Adam implied. That doesn't sound right. She turned around and nodded. A tiny smile began to appear. You remembered. Stupid. People are responsible for what they become. Pick another charity case. What? I don't understand that last. They remained silent for a while, which felt an eternity to Adam. Last time they got together was the day of the funeral 10 years ago. So this is a Sodamock Classic. In no way, shape, form infringes on the Coca-Cola or its logo. See if I can read some stuff on the wall. They have a turtle caramel fudge, a scoop twister, iced cappuccino, an espresso, a classic float, a beer float. So that's a root beer float, brownie choco fudge, some type of split. Some good stuff on this menu. Aaron had lost control of his car and plunged into a ravine a few miles up north. Yikes. Not a way we want to go. A shattered family. A heartbroken friend. Adam was supposed to move east for his internship that day after the burial ceremony. Do you remember when Adam was cut short? Here's your order, dear, the tall waitress said with a grin. She's kind of cute. Adam gasped at the sight of the gigantic banana split on the tray. He had ordered a small ice cream cup while she had picked the Gigantosaurus. I'm sorry my pronunciations are doing really bad. I'm really, really sorry. It's reading and saying the words at the same time is kind of a skill I'm still trying to develop because I'm doing a lot of visual novels as of late. So reading it and saying it at the same time, it's something we normally don't do a lot in life. Normally there's a lot of reading or a lot of talking, not reading and talking at the same time. Not something I've really done since, say high school or college, where you're like reading in like plays or you're being a character or something. I know what a banana split is, but click on it anyway. And it originates from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Did not know that. The Gigantosaurus. He didn't pay attention back then. He just assumed it was a giant gelato. She licked her lips in anticipation. Thank you, Cassie. I'm so starving. The familiarity between them led to guess she had been a regular customer for years. Rubbing her hands, she looked at Adam. Now's the time to say you're sorry. Sorry for what? Adam scratched the back of his head. I don't understand. What do you mean by that? Looking down at her lap, she uttered, You pushed me back, which I could understand in a way, but what you said afterwards. Get your life together, man. Jeez. Gosh. Son of a... These are expertly detailed, by the way. Just gonna call this out real quick. That's Dr. Pepper. That's Mountain Dew. That's root beer. That's Sprite. That's Diet Coke. That's Coke. That's like Coke Zero. Of course, these aren't the Coke logos. They're the Soda Mock. But those are spot on Barks Root Beer, Dr. Pepper, and Mountain Dew. That might be Mellow Yellow as well. But that's definitely Sprite. You're not going to fool me. I'm watching. I'll be contacting the Coca-Cola Corporation. It hurt, her voice sounded breathless. I'm not the one who has to figure it all out. I'm living the proof I did. Right on. He could not look into her eyes and apologize for he didn't mean to hurt her feelings. He said that... Rewind, retake, try that again. He could not look into her eyes and apologize for he did not mean to hurt her feelings. He said that to protect her, like he always did when they were friends. Yet, he kept that for himself. You're overacting, like you always did. What a jerk. She froze. Her hand started to shake frantically. Why would I say I'm sorry? For feeding you, letting you sleep on my couch, and teaching you about life? He slammed his fist on the laminated table. At least you could have told me what you were. You brought this on yourself. Hopefully he's thinking this and not saying this out loud. Because saying this out loud is very, very dickish. She took a deep breath and raised her head to the ceiling lights. What I am... That's not... I mean, I'm sorry about saying that. I just... So be it. A soothing high-pitched voice shattered their moment. Whoa! Back it up, lady. Oh, you two are such a cute couple. Look, I don't come here to be harassed, okay? I'm letting her eat her banana split. I'm having a small scoop of ice cream. Leave me alone. Go over and play the jukebox like you did when you were 15. While the weight of the years had carved her face, it remained beautiful, and one could guess she had a golden heart. Adam shook his head, puckering his lips. We're not. We... Then all hell broke loose. Hell yeah. Thank you, madam. And I have a penis, too. What? What? She said loud enough for everyone to hear, smiling with pride. Okay, as much as Adam is being a dick, pun intended, being a dick, I don't think it's... I mean, I'm not telling someone who they should be and who they should not be, but that's like yelling fire in a movie theater, right? You just can't scream out, I have a penis in a nice Sunday ice cream parlor. I mean, come on. I can't do that. This, ladies, maybe that'll be my new thumbnail. That lady was freaked out. What the hell are you doing? Adam said, trying to shield himself from the judgment center of all the customers. The only answer he got was a deep moaning. Oh, look, okay. I apologize if there's younger viewers watching this. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to go this direction. It didn't have to go this direction, but it did. Sandra sucked on the giant banana in such a provocative way, Adam felt aroused for a second before his brain made him scold her. Cut it out. Stop this nonsense. Uh, but she didn't, and she kept sucking the top. She then lifted her head, making sure everyone could see the layers of melting whipped cream in her mouth. Rest assured, it doesn't taste better than yours. Oh, she's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded indeed. I thought the customers would storm out, the parlor screaming and howling, some even puking on the floor. But they didn't. They just didn't care, which is the right way to approach it. Please, I'm begging you, stop this, Adam pleaded. Don't you boss me around, honey, or I'll get you. Or you'll get it. This, I was distracted by the other screen. This is an interesting way to serve a banana split. I'm not sure whether that's what other people around the world think a banana split is, but that's not what it is here in America. We don't just stick a giant banana inside of an ice cream and just call it a day. Plus it came with a donut? She was holding a donut, which by itself is an instant pastry, yet she managed to make it look like it came out from the devil's oven. That should be underlined. There should be some explanations for devil's oven. That look familiar to you? He just said, screw it, I'm out. Forget about it. What was that? That's a good look. They took their argument outside of the parlor. How could you do this to me? Adam shouted. I'd never been humiliated like that. With her back turned, she chuckled and raised her eyes, slowly shaking her head. Poor baby. Wah. Adam stopped screaming and stared at her, befuddled. 2 minutes, she said. You're complaining about 2 minutes of humiliation. I felt that for most of my life, she yelled. Struck by guilt, he gestured awkwardly, admitting he probably overreacted. Maybe you could have made it a bit more subtle. No. Subtle ain't working. Not anymore, she started to sob quietly. I do exist. What's the point of living if I have to be subtle about who I am? About who I've always been? You could not argue with that, for it eluded him. When one mentions straight people, the first image that pops in their heads is the one of a family. Why can't I have a family? Tell me, Adam. Why can't I get married without having people protesting and wishing I'll burn in hell? Why am I allowed to adopt and be a mom? I have so much love to give. Why does everyone just want to hurt me? A large man ran towards them, cursing. I'm about to settle this score right now. At the diner. What the hell did you say to my mom? He raised his clenched fist, aimed to crash Sandra's skull in half. Vicky! What? Adam's got them skills, man. He just grabbed that fist like Bruce Lee would have done. No, 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 no. Despite being half under the side effects of drugs, Adam quickly stopped the assaulter who, realizing he now had to fight a man, ran away. Actually, he was about... Never mind. Look, I don't condone this type of language on my YouTube videos. And I do my best to skip over the curse words. Because I try to keep it PG-13. That way YouTube doesn't shut me down. But this is one of those one times that I will say it. Go back to your mama, pussy. Sandra shouted, flipping her finger. You're lucky my friend didn't kick your butt. Why did I do that? I didn't think, it just happened. It felt right? Thanks, Sandra whispered, a bit moved by his act of kindness. Adam stood tall, waiting for any threats to disappear completely. He bent his head down, apologetic. Looks like you have had your life all figured out. I'm sorry. I just hope you get it now, she frowned her mouth. Adam wanted to comfort her, but didn't move a muscle. I had no idea your life was this hard. Looking into his eyes, she quoted the lyrics from an obscure song they used to sing together. It's like having a party where you aren't invited. Before he could tell her she had made a pretty good point, she left without a word nor a sound. She was like an angel hovering over the ground, paved with hate and prejudices. The stairgram he walked every day, unconsciously supplying it with his own ignorance. Said the staircase from Joker. Joker. He waved her goodbye, but again, he was too late. Gone. Again. Save me, my friend. Some good music. There was no surprise for an early September morning to be cold, but today was exceptionally. Although it felt like December, Adam could not postpone his training. I wonder what he's training for, or if he's just a health nut. Usually when people say training, that means they're working towards something like a marathon or some type of contest. Beads of sweat rolled down his face, while the wind was whipping the nape of his neck, sending shivers down his spine, one gust at a time. That's some good riding right there. A much-needed break brought Adam to a bus stop. His eyes stared at the small clouds of breath surrounding his mouth, in rhythm with the remnants of the steady pound of his footsteps still echoing in his ears. Is this an aesthetic choice of the mirror being, or is it broken? I assume that's the way the mirror came. That's freaking weird. Every day was the same. Exercise, home, shower, work, home. Some good stuff. You're gonna kill yourself, mate. Ain't you strong enough already? Is that Oda? Wearing a silk black shirt, which had all the characteristics of an 80s music video prop. Oda leaned against the wooden pool table. Their day had been under the sign of accountability, hence it had been boring to such an extent. They decided to go for a few shots together. It's not about being strong. It's about feeling good, man. Adam raised his glass. You should try it sometimes. You know me. I only exercise one muscle. You should try it, sir. Otis slapped himself. He knew that what he said Adam had been going through with Kim was a sensitive subject. My dude, it's been 5 years. Kim's gone. Kim's like coming back. Get over it. Gosh. He shook his head. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant to say. Adam laughed, for he didn't mind Oda's lack of tact when it came to anything genitals related. I kind of like it being single. I have more time for me. That's a true statement right there. The margin of people who say they like being single is probably in the single-digit percentage. So people don't like being single. We're pack creatures. All you do is work. All you're doing is working, cooking, exercising. With not, Adam suddenly voiced his complete agreement. She texted me a few weeks ago about her taking vacation and Oda asked. She just stated a fact. I never cared about anyone but myself anyway. Thanks for the drinks. Time for me to hit the sack. She texted me a few weeks ago about her taking a vacation and... I assume that's Kim that texted him? That's weird. Why would... Just out of the blue? Hey, I'm taking a vacation. That doesn't make any sense. She just stated a fact. I never cared about anyone but myself. I know what you're going to answer, so I'm not going to ask. Oda knew he would not say no to a massage. No, Oda knew he would say no to a massage with some hot girls or anything that could cheer any other man up. Just take care of yourself and chill out. Chill out. Pointing at Adam's clean-cut outfit, Oda explained, For as far as I can recall, I've never seen you without a suit and a damn tie. He took a sip from his glass. Maybe you should try and loosen up. Change the way you look. That'll change the way you are. Or something like that. Sorry, I'm too drunk to think. And probably too drunk to get it on as well. Go home to your wife, man, Adam said. Oda raised his glass. I'm never too drunk to get it on, sucker. Maybe you should try and loosen up. Change the way you look. That'll change the way you are. Or something like that. Sorry, I'm too drunk to think. That's a good quote. Back to Pouty Adam in his bedroom. Look, I don't even mind that they reuse some of the background. I mean, I don't care. Like, this is a good background to start off with Pouty Adam. Like, I'm not even mad at that. Lying on his bed, Adam pondered whether Oda had a point when he mentioned his looks. He could not remember seeing coworkers outside of his professional sphere, which come with a suit and tie. But what would be the point? Why would they change their opinion about me if I look different? Adam decided to sleep off the nonsense Oda had fed him. I don't know, it didn't sound like nonsense to me. So that's Adam's assistant. Huh? Adam's assistant said with a squeaking voice. Squeaking voice? Oda voiced his concern in a very subtle way. Not. What's wrong with you? That ain't casual Friday, dude. I agree, this just doesn't work on you, sir, she added. You look like the CEO of Weed LLC. Bruh. Yeah, you look like a hippie, Adam. Go fetch my bong. The two burst into laughter, pointing their fingers at Adam. Hey now, this was your suggestion. She looks judgmental as crap. Doesn't look like a bad outfit. Screw you both. The two misfits kept laughing at his expense. This was going to be a long day. Luckily for him, he had something to look forward to. Get out of here. I don't serve stoners. Very funny, old man. Very funny, Adam said in a monotonous tone. Until he guessed the mockery from his coworkers lasted all day long. For the first time in his professional life, he decided to dress accordingly to how he felt on that morning. Don't take it too personally, my friend. People don't like change. It scares them. What about you, Adam asked, staring at the wakame ramen. That's ramen. Staring at the wakame ramen Ian had just made for him. That's the perks of being old. I don't care, huh? Huh? Wakame is a Japanese seaweed traditionally cultivated for food. Medicinal purposes. The scent of melting algae, drowning in fish broth, found its way into Adam's olfactory nerves. He could not wait another second and grabbed the pair of chopsticks he broke in a ritualistic way. Yeah, what was that? Although the small street had its share of fights, chases were quite a rare sight. I'm gonna save. Alright, folks, I'm gonna call it right here. I always like ending the episode on a cliffhanger, which in the case is a choice. Once again, I'm leaving the description, the link to this game. I recommend you go buy this for yourself and play it for yourself. Even though you're watching me play it, and it kind of gives away like all the twists and the endings, you should still play through it for yourself. And you should purchase it to support the person who made this. And if you enjoyed the video, I ask you to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification button. You'll be notified when my videos go live, which is every day at noon and 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to catch me on Twitch at Hungry Husband? Yeah, I am kind of hungry. Haunted Husband on Twitch. And you can find me on Twitter at haunted_husband. And as always, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll haunt you later.